Once again, my current household has inspired me to do something that I've always wanted to do, but I just haven't seemed to have the right scenario to do it until now, which led me to finally lock in and create nails for The Sims 3. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I create custom nails in The Sims 3 from mesh all the way into the game. Everything you'll need, tools, links, and resources will be in the description so you can follow along. I'll be showing you my full process in Blender, including how I shape the nail and set it up for texturing. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so now that we are in TSR Workshop, we need to create a new project, and then you can choose accessory or new import. I'm going to choose new import and then hit next. This is where you would be able to go in here and find a package file, or what's the word, Sims 3 pack file. I'm going to go into my completed folder, and then I'm going to grab, since I'm on Sims 3 pack, I'll just choose the 90s curve Sims 3 pack and just open it up. You're going to hit next and press OK, and then it's going to load the mesh. Now that the mesh is loaded into TSR, we need to do two things in the mesh tab. I'm going to go to high level of detail. I need to zoom in, so let me zoom in with all that. I'm gonna let y'all see the nails that we just opened up. Give y'all a nice little look see. And then now that we've opened them up, what you want to do is click on this box with the red arrow. You're going to export the workshop file into your meshes folder. Now, because I've already done this, you would just do reference mesh and save it as a workshop file. Then you would export the OBJ as well. So let me go back. In the meshes, you would save your mesh as a placement reference, whatever helps you remember what type of object it is. We're saving our placement reference _1 because it's an extra one. We're saving it as an OBJ. That's what you will import into Blender. And then you want to have your bones, your reference bones. That's what you will be importing into Milkshape. And that's all you need from Workshop in order to start building the mesh. I'm also going to show y'all what I was working on today, because I did have to re-record this part, but I was doing this little doodle in Procreate, and I just did another recolor for my 90s curve mesh. Alrighty, so what I want to do is change up the color. I don't want to do too much because I just want to change her up to be like I think I want a pink body. Okay, so what we're gonna do is click on the side here. You're gonna see all the different body parts, and we're in object mode, so you're gonna click on female body, and then once you click on that, you're gonna see this little circle here, and that's like the material. That's what you want to click on, and then you're gonna remove the swimsuit if you don't want the swimsuit, right? If you want to change it up. So what I want to change it to is a pink body. We're gonna go into the diffuse, and we're gonna change it a nice pink color. I want it to be very bright and pink. And then specular, that's the shine. You can change it up. I'm gonna keep it white. So now that we've done that, I'm gonna show y'all a few keys. I don't really use 7, but the number 7 on your number pad will take you to the very top and center everything. And then I'm gonna rotate with the mouse wheel, then hold shift and the mouse wheel to move the area. And then I'm using the scroll wheel to zoom in, and I'm using shift and the mouse wheel to grab, because I'm pressing down on the mouse wheel and I'm holding shift, and then I'm going to click on the screen. So press down on your mouse wheel, hold shift, click on the screen, and you want to go ahead and zoom in to this area here. And that's how you're going to navigate to the hand. Now, before we do that, we need to start making the mesh. So at the bottom here next to object mode, you're going to see a button called add. You want to go to mesh, and we're going to use plane. Okay. And in the plane, I'm using the moving tools to move the plane to one side of the hand. So we're going to start with the right hand, and we're going to use the letter S on your keyboard to open up scale, and you want to just move your mouse key. I'm not touching anything, I'm just moving the mouse in a certain direction to scale it down. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Coughing. We're gonna use, which one is that? I think that's the Z. The blue arrow is your Z, and then your red is your X axis, and then your Z axis to move things up or down, and then your Y axis to move things left or right. I like to start with the pointer finger, so we're going to do that. And you want to kind of bring it up the plane, like through the hand. This is going to help you with sizing it up to really see if it's close enough to the hand. And you want to keep moving on different axes to get the plane on the finger. Then I'm going to hit R to rotate. I'm going to click Y while still in rotate, and then I'm going to move it up or down to rotate the plane. And you want to make sure that when you rotate your camera, you want to see the side so that you can see that the plane is on the finger. Now, what I did not do is load in a reference mesh, but I did save a reference, so I forgot to do that. But we can do that now, actually. I'm going to hit A to stop selecting. Let's see if we can load in this reference mesh. So we're going to hit import wavefront OBJ. You're going to go to your project. I'm going to nail tutorial meshes. You want to open the placement reference object. I can't talk. Can I talk? Like, come on now. But when we load it in, we can see what the mesh looks like inside of Blender. Okay. And then I'm going to take y'all through the process of literally how I did this, but we're going to do a totally different shape and less curve because we're doing a sculptured like medium shape now. So it's not even going to be this length. But now that we have the reference mesh in here, this is going to help me see how it's placed on the finger. So now we're going to turn it off and click on the plane because we still want to size this up and make sure that we have it the way we want it. I'm just using rotate to get it at the right angle. The plane is slightly through the finger, which is fine for now because you definitely want to make sure that it's close enough. And then just keep moving this plane around. I'm holding R. Well, I'm clicking R and clicking Y, rotate. And then I'm rotating on the X axis. Then I'm gonna rotate on the Z axis. Oof. Zoomed in a little too much there. Okay. Now I'm gonna keep scaling this down till I get like a nice size because we're gonna have to extrude, and I'm gonna show y'all that in a second, how to extrude. But the way we're gonna do it, it requires you to extrude from the right side and the left side. So we got it where we want it. Cool. Now it's time to go into edit mode. Okay. And I'm gonna stop selecting the whole plane. You want to do now is alt click on the side of the plane, and we're gonna hold E to extrude and pull it out. Okay, that's the first one. And then you want to first hit A to deselect, and then alt click on the other plane, E to extrude and pull it out. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm gonna keep this selected, and then I'm gonna alt click and hold shift to click the other side of the plane. So now we're clicking the very far edges, and then you want to hit S to scale and then just pull down. We could scale on the y-axis. That's going to pull it in some, but I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that, and I'm just going to pull it down. I'm just trying to see what I want to do there. And then I'm gonna hit Control Z again because I don't like that. G, Y, or is it X? Is Z? Yeah. Okay. So I gotta back that up because I know I'm probably like, what did she just do? So after we have selected both ends of the extruded parts of the plane, we're gonna hit the letter G, and then we're gonna hit the letter Z. And you're just gonna pull down on your mouse, and that's gonna bring it down. Okay. I'm also gonna hit scale, and we're gonna scale it on the Z axis as well. Right now I'm just playing with it because you're gonna have to take the end of this and pull it out. So after we've done that, we're gonna alt click on the bottom. I'm gonna hit extrude, and we're gonna pull it out towards the tip. But before we do that, we have to check every part of the extruded area and make sure that it looks good on the side view angles and not just the front angle. Okay. So pulling this up, pulling it, and then I'm gonna hit extrude again with E, pull it out. I'm using the x-axis to move it so it's not inside of the skin of the nail. And then you can like bring it down a little bit, make sure those angles are the way you want them. And then we're going to extrude again. This is where we definitely want that tip to be straight because we're doing like a medium sculpted shape. And I would say a few more notches. Get that sculpted shape. I'm gonna pull it out. Hit Control Z because I clicked the wrong angle. There we go. I can really see. Right there. Okay. We want to hit that red arrow to pull this out. And I'm just checking the sides And I would say this is a good length for a medium shaped nail. Probably have to take it out a tad bit more, but we're gonna see because it's not too long, but it's not too short. And then we did like a little bit of an apex here, and then it's all the way out there. So now that we've done that, we need to make a few edits here. So I'm gonna hold Control and then click R. That's gonna bring in this line, this reddish pink line, and then we're gonna put it in the middle of this plane. And then it's gonna bring in the orange line. It's gonna be moving because you have to confirm it. So you're gonna find the spot and hit confirm. This splits it up. And we just want to edit that curve. I'm gonna hit like right here. And then I wanna hit Alt click the side and then Shift Alt the other side. And then I'm gonna hold G and then hit Z. Move this. And I move my mouse down to bring it down and add more of a C curve. I can rotate that. Okay. I gotta move my camera a lot, so please forgive me. All right, now we're gonna have to hit A to deselect. I'm gonna hit the top here and Alt click this top. I'm gonna hit scale and scale that in a bit towards the top and then pull down. Then I'm gonna hit A and bring the nail out of that. And this is the shape of the plane that we did, right? So I'm gonna hit A again and then Alt click here. I'm gonna scale this down some more at the top. Rosy A, then hold A again. And what I want to do now is open up that reference mesh for the placement, just so I can see where that cuticle area starts. Right now we're just working on making sure it fits before we start to make this nail shape look like these acrylics right here. Because I'm about to show y'all. That's the exciting part. Okay, so I'm not even going to try to do too much because we don't know how it's going to look once we do the details. So make sure you still have the plane selected. We're going to go into Modifiers, the Modifiers tab. And I'm going to hit Subdivide, Subdivision Surface. And this is going to really cut and shape our nail. So it's going to round the cuticle area and the edges. So right now it is on 1. We want to keep it on 1. And then we're going to go into Solidify. And then what you want to do is minimize these really quick, drag Solidify to the top. Okay. So before we do any more edits, we're going to go into object mode so y'all can see the nail. And right now it has these lines. You can see the faces and the cuts right here, right? What you want to do is go into the plus side and hit where it says shading. You want to hit smooth. That's going to smooth this out. Then what you want to do is work on the thickness. So how thick do we want these nails? I'm gonna add quite a bit but as y'all can see, we did the curve here at the tip, and we're gonna keep thickening until I'm happy with that mesh. When you look at the side view, look at that. That's literally your mesh, y'all. That's the mesh. we're gonna make it more crisp, but that's literally the nail right there in real time. That's the nail. And honestly, these are gonna be, I'm gonna make these the reference mesh nails because they're not too long, they're pretty straight, they're gonna be placed where it's easy to follow a guide. So hopefully this is a good reference mesh for you all. I'm just gonna play around with the thickness because are making them pretty thick. I kind of want to literally sit on the skins. But yeah, once you're happy with how it's fitting on the finger, then we can go back into edit mode and work on the tip of the nail, right? To get it crisp. So I'm going to hit A to deselect. And what you want to do now is hit Control R to bring that line out that we did for the middle part. And you want to put it at the tip. And then we're just going to keep moving it until we got the line as crispy as we want it. So I'm going to hit A to deselect. I'm going to shift alt and click the sides. And I want to hit G and Z and bring that down on the sides. And then if we want to back up the tips here, we're going to hit G, X to move it up the side. I'm moving this camera too much. I'm so sorry, y'all. But I'm trying to get a good view of the side view. If we go into object mode, we can really see how the nail looks. That's sculpted on the sides. Look on the side here. And then stop. Nice soft cuticle area. And then sculpt the tip. So now that we've done that, I'm going to apply the solidify modifier. And then we're going to apply the subdivide modifier. Make sure that it's on 1 because this is what's going to cut extra vertices. That's what made the shaping look like this. And once you apply it, we're going to go into edit mode and you're going to see the vertices here. Now that we've done that, we already have our reference mesh turned off. So we need to turn off the body and go into the back of the nail. I may have to turn the body on just so I can go underneath the nail this way. You can keep the body on just so you can get behind the nail here. And then you want to turn off the body now because you want to go in here and we're going to mark the seam of the nail, right? Then Alt Shift, clicking, right clicking. Then I'm going to go to the bottom here. You want to make sure that the lines are not selecting anything else except the back of the nail. Now that that's done, we're going to go to UV and mark seam. And it's going to change to like a darker orange. That's how you know your seam is marked. After that, I'm going to hold A to deselect. I'm not holding A. I'm clicking A to deselect. Clicking A to reselect the entire nail mesh. All right. And now you want to unwrap the nail. And over here is our unwrapped nail. I'm going to scale it down like the middle somewhere, right? You can use, you can hover over each part of the mesh and click L to select that part and just move it over. Hold G, not hold G, click G to move. To separate the parts. Okay. And now that we've done that, we can turn our body back on. because now we got to take this nail and size it to fit the rest of the nails. Okay. Key thing, if you want each nail to have the same design, do not change the placement of the UV map. You're going to keep it like this. Once you set up and unwrap the UV and you want to have one design populate all 10 nails, do not change the UV anymore. That's going to be the easiest way to do it, is don't change the UV once you set it up for one nail, because you're going to use that same nail for that. So we're going to change the name of the plane over here to medium underscore sculpted. I'm going to go into object mode and you're going to hit Shift D to duplicate this nail, and we're going to bring it up and we're going to fit it on the rest of the fingers. I'm also going to turn on the reference here to see where the cuticle area is, and then I'm gonna move it a little bit. I'm gonna turn the reference off really quick just so I can see how it looks on the middle finger. I want to bring this up to bring out the sides, because creating the mesh is one thing. Now you have to populate the mesh on all 10 fingers. But I think I may end up speeding up this part because you do have to do a lot of duplicating and sizing. So if y'all do understand it, if y'all need me to explain any further, there will be a series. So the best thing before I speed this video up for the series, please comment any questions, concerns. My Discord is open and available. I can work with you. I can do whatever you need so that you can get the best results that you want. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and size these nails to the fingers. Okay, so now we're going to hit Shift-D again to pull out a nail for the thumb. I'm using the middle finger for that nail, and I'm going to go to mirror, and we're going to mirror. We're going to just hit X, Y, or Z to see the nail move, because it has to be flipped in order to fit thumb. And then even with the fingers, you can see the little indents. You can kind of see where the nail should be placed, and then it has this little arrow here. So I'm going to rotate this nail, move it. I'm rotating the camera to see the different angles. I'm also, when I click rotate, I'm also working on the axis without always, seeing which axis it's on. So I'm hitting rotate. The axis is going to turn the nail. Let's see, Y axis. Okay. And then rotating on X axis is going to bring it out. You also want to scale this, but I'm going to undo that scale because I actually want to scale it like on the sides. I definitely want to scale it on the axis to shorten it, and we want to make it wider. So I'm using the X axis to widen the thumbnail. There we go. That's going to help size it and fit it to the thumb, because you want those thumbs to look like thumbs. Also going to hit rotate on the Y, I'm just looking up under to see if that nail is angled properly. And if you can look underneath, you'll see that this needs to be pushed in towards the middle. And this is the rigging part. We're gonna have to assign bones and all of that. But once you're happy with everything here, I'm looking at these. I kind of want to go into this nail. So let's shorten it a bit. Scale it on the Y. Scale it on the Z. Make it a tad bit longer than the rest. Well, not longer than the rest, but longer than as we shortened it. We can hit scale to bring it in some. Now we're gonna go with this first finger. I'm gonna scale on the Y to slender the sides. And then scale X to shorten it. So now that we have done the shaping and the sizing to fit each finger, it's now time to join them together. So I'm gonna hold shift. I'm holding the pinky. This is number 4. This is number 3. Shift click 3. Shift click 4. Shift click 2. Shift click 1. And then shift click the pointer finger. Then we're going to go to the side, join. And it's going to go to the pointer finger. What you want to do here, make sure everything is still good and shiny. You go into edit mode. Guess what? All of the UV map nails are going to show one design. Okay. So if you do like a really good design and you want it to populate on all 10, don't move the UV map. If you want different designs, that would be another video, but I'm trying to keep it simple. So now we're going to go into object mode now, and we're going to duplicate. So you're going to hold shift D and then pull out the duplicate nails. Then you want to go into mirror on the left, and then you just want to hit mirror to the X, the Z, or the Y. I'm going to mirror to, it's between the X and the Z. I think I want to mirror it. I think I want to undo that actually. Mirror to X. X. Okay. Then I'm zooming out, moving across to the other hand. We're going to now size to the left hand. And I'm going to show y'all how to actually select each nail and do that. Okay. You just want to move it. I'm going to hold rotate Y, move it down, move it out, move it up. So now that we've done that, brought them out, they're like in motion, ready to be fitted to the left hand. I'm going to turn on the reference because I do need to see. And then we're going to go into, I actually need to put this on solid so I can really see. But I should have been on solid because I low-key could not see. But we're going to go into edit mode now. You're going to hit A to deselect everything. And we're going to go on this side. I'm going to click, you want to click the letter L. That's going to select the top. You need to go underneath. There we go. You want to make sure your cursor is highlighted underneath and hit L. That's going to select the nail. You won't have any problems when you do it like that. Because the mesh was properly cut, you can use L to select in edit mode and grab the nail that way. And you have to do this in edit mode so that way, because the nails are already joined. And this just makes it easier to size and fit. So I'm just going to do this for the other 5 nails. always keep in mind you can adjust the lengths and the shaping and all of that on your mesh. This is just literally the tutorial and a starter point. Okay. So after that, we want to select both once we're happy. I'm shift clicking on medium sculpted and medium sculpted 001. And then you're going to hit join. Okay. Now that you've joined both of them together, we need to take another look to see if any other normals have flipped. See, the thumb is fine, but the fingers on the right flip normals. If we go into edit mode, you're going to hit A to deselect, A to reselect. Okay. And our mesh is good. Our UV map is still good. What you want to do now is hit W and then scroll down to flip normals. Let's go to object mode. And now we need to go back into edit mode. Hit A. You're going to go in here and select the nails that need normals flipped. Then if I go to object mode, I need to see on this finger, this hand. So back into edit mode. L. You're going to hit W again. Flip normals. Go back into object mode. Once we flip the normals, look at the fingers. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They all look the same. So that is all done, right? We can go in here. I'm going to go ahead and delete our reference mesh from the project. You're also going to delete the rig, delete the body part, and it's just going to leave you with the sculpted set we just created, right? And now you just want to go into File, Export, Wavefront.obj. We're going to go into our Muse Drive projects, active nail tutorial. You want to save the object file here. We're literally going to save it as something that we can know it is a fresh file that we are putting into our game. So it's going to be medium_sculpted obj. Export the object. Okay. You can also save as a blend file if you want to. So we can go ahead and do that. We need to go into edit mode over here. We're gonna hit A to deselect, A to reselect everything. Zoom in on this side here where we set up the UV screen, and you're gonna hit new, and you want to set this as 512 by 512 and press OK. Now you're going to go to the UV button here and you're going to hit export UV layout. Now we're going to go into textures. We're going to type in at the end of this file, we're going to put capital UV layout, export UV layout. That's important. That's what we're going to need for our textures. Now we need to go into Milkshape. So let me go ahead and open Milkshape. Okay, we got Milkshape. Now you're going to import your TSR object, nail projects, active, nail tutorial, meshes, reference bones, open. Points, you're going to see all the bones. That's important. But we're going to go click here and hit hide because we're not going to need to see that mesh. Now we're going to import our mesh, the medium sculpted full set, open. That's what you want to see. So now that we have it imported, we need to go to model and select. This is going to help you be able to select each nail. And I'm just going to hold shift and use my scroll wheel to zoom in to see the right hand. And you're going to be able to select from there. Now, you're going to click and drag to bring out a box and then select one nail at a time. Then you're going to go into points, and this is the left pink. So we're going to look for the left pink bone. It is left_pinky 2. We're going to click it, and then we need to here, find pinky. Okay, so you're going to assign the bone to that nail for both parts. That's what I do. And then you want to change. Next, after the pinky, you want to change to ring 2 for the left hand. Double click. Go to ring 2 and the drop down menu. Then highlight the nail, ring 2. Then assign, sign. Middle nail, left mid 2. Click. Left mid, drop down. Highlight the middle nail, assign, assign. Pointer, index left 2, double click, drop down, index left 2. Highlight the index, assign, sign. Thumb, left 2, double click, drop down, thumb left 2. Highlight the thumb, fully highlight, assign, assign. To check, you're just gonna draw vertices, bone colors, and you'll be able to see that they're all on different bones. Now, go to this side. We're going to turn off draw vertices. We're going to start with the right thumb. Now, all we got to do now, draw vertices. All of these have different vertices, bones assigned. All of these are assigned to different bones. Now we can zoom out so y'all can see how it looks when you have all the bones assigned. Now we can go to group. I'm going to click on group 1. I'm going to change the name from default. Group. Rename it to group _0. Click. We can go to file, TSR object. Then we're going to name it medium, sculpted full set. And then it's going to be saved as a workshop file. Workshop object file, save. Now we can go back into TSR Workshop and upload our new mesh. So on high level of detail, I'm going to go into the meshes from the nail tutorial. You want to click on the medium sculpted full set, open. Yes. Import complete. Look at that. Look at that. We need to go in here and map out the UV. Okay, so now it's time to work on the UV map. We're gonna open a new file on a black background at 512 by 512 and hit create. And then we're gonna turn it off really quick. Turn off the visibility, file, place. I'm hitting place embed. I'm going to go into our textures folder and place the image here. Now, time to paint. So rasterize layer, and I'm gonna bring out a new layer. Any selection tool will work here. Will the magic wand work? Okay, so with the magic wand, we can go in, hit fill, deselect. Great. So that means I cut the UV so good that I ain't gotta do all that extra stuff. Now you're gonna turn on the black and then export, save for web, Oh, PNG. Here we go. I was confused. Here we go. Now, import. Now, all right, y'all. So it looks like for this set, I had to flip the normals again outside of the shiny that y'all seen. So we flipped them, and this is how the shading looks now. I went into Milkshape and I assigned the bones again. And then we're going to go into export, TSR object. Now we're going to go into our workshop and import the new mesh. Okay. Medium. Import the flipped. And then low level. Import the flipped. Now we're going to go back to high level of detail. We're going to hit zoom. We can zoom in. We're also going to hit pan. And then load animation. But as y'all can see, they look white now. That is what we want. But yes, when you load your mesh in here and it looks black, it's because you need to flip your normals. So we flipped them beforehand, but it didn't show up as white because the texture here is going to show us white. So now that we've done that, we got our view. We can zoom in and work on our design. So let's go back into Photoshop. The good part about this is we can go in here, add a new layer, and create clipping masks. And that's going to clip onto the shape of the white. We need to pull in some assets first. So let's go into the project folder. I'm going to go into Shiny Nails and open this image. I like the shine from this image here. And we're going to hit... Can we do magic wand? No. We need polygonal lasso. Polygonal lasso allows you to click and let go. And you click the parts. You just want to click around. Control J. What I want to do here is I just want to see which side is which. I'm going to Alt to create the clipping mask and clip inside the nail. Now, I feel like it's going to be on this side, but we're going to see. Or is it on this side? We're going to see which side it is. Lock in the background. File, export. Go into textures. Okay, that lets us know that is on this side. Go back in, file, export, save for web. There we go. And just like that, we can see what side of the map is which. Get a good look, get a good look. We just say so down so put a texture on them. So I did speed up the texturing portion because this is a Blender heavy type of tutorial and is geared towards the actual nail creation. And so textures can be done any way, shape, or form as long as you set up the UV like we showed previously in this video. you'll be able to apply any texture and size any nail with a clipping mask, and you can clip it onto the separate layer that you captured the UV in. So keep in mind, when you are in Photoshop and you're prepping your UV, make sure to add a fresh layer. Click on your UV layer that has the UV, select it, and then go back to the plain layer and fill that with white. That way, when you do the clipping mask, you'll be able to apply custom nails you see online or create your own design inside of Photoshop or Procreate, which I can show you later in another video. That's your French pattern. Just like that. I can tell it's a little off, but I did not use my iPad to like do a detailed French. Press for time. That's the French. So we're gonna name this. Go in here and update to our new texture. And that is how they look on the nails. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Check to see if you want other styles, you can do that. We're going to save this as one style. And that should be good to go. So now it's time to take this and export it. Go ahead and rename this. I'll just do my Tumblr at this point. Copy to all. Grab this. Copy. Save. File. Export to Sims 3 pack. Paste what we copied. You want to put it in final and then save. You also want to go ahead and save this into active nail tutorial textures PSD. We'll just do that. Save. Okay, guys, we got our workshop close out of Milkshape. I'm not going to save that. We can save this out of that. Now you want to go into your project folder, open the multi-pack installer. I said installer, extractor, what I meant. Then you're going to go to this PC, Muse Drive, find the folder. It is in the active nail tutorial final. This PC, active nail tutorial final. Extract nail projects, active nail tutorial final. We have our package here, right? Copy. Then we're gonna go into documents, electronic arts, the Sims 3, mods, packages. I'm going into my Aries folder, paste. Alrighty, so these are the nails. This is how they look in game with the textures, and y'all seen the full process of how we went from Blender to Sims 3. So leave all your questions, concerns, and updates in the comments and in my Discord, and I'll be ready to assist you all. With all of that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Stay breezy.